because Moose food habits, it's one of my favorites, and I forgot about the cheeseburger clip until I was looking back at finding some of the things that how can you introduce some of the people if they don't know? And then the cheeseburger clip.
Remember when he bought like 3 orders of like Five Guys fries and was planning on eating them for like a week or something?
Mm-hmm.
And I think wasn't there also something with like he made a pound of spaghetti?
The bag of soda was unreal, because not only did he drink the entire bag of soda, he then was using it as a water jug.
Yeah.
Like directly after.
Yeah. What I just love, he just has he's just sometimes strange.
I mean, he's always strange, and that's why we love him.
And, you know, his buddies are telling him that if he has consensual sex with this girl on the first date, they're going to Venmo him hundreds of dollars.
Wait.
And he was like, well, I'm not even going to try. He's like, he said to them, he's like, the problem is that I won't even bring it up. Like, I would say,
like, I don't even know what that comment means.
I'd be like, hey, this is going to sound weird, especially if she seems cool, you know, like, but if we have sex, tonight, my buddies are going to Venmo me this thing. I'll take you out to a fancy restaurant for the second date.
Do you think he would bring it up?
No, he said that he wouldn't.
Prostamoose. Sitting there and sleeping around for money.
How's his stream looking these days?
Oh,
same as it always is.
Speak of the man. He just won. He advanced to the
Oh, and he's offline. Never mind.
Yeah, he just raided in here.
Who?
Sparty. Spartan Dog.
Sparty. He just won his Golden Paw match.
Ah, yes.
He's on to the Thirsty 32. I don't know. We'll work. Ask and I shall appear.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah.
Are you going to show us the screen that you're streaming to?
Yeah, it's shared, correct?
No, I just see Kilbride and I. And the Discord list that where is mine in there and Kilbride's? Like, we're buried in a folder somewhere?
Hold on. Okay. This is good because I can. Oh my. What did I do? Please stop. Not
Inception.
Yep. Oh my. That was way too much. Cameras and then share. And then I need to share this one. There it is.
Beautiful.
That's been a little fun cold open. I didn't know we were live. I thought you're just
oh no,
kidding.
No, we always said like our pre-show talks were some of the best things.
Yeah, it really was.
And again, Kilbride had the cool screen and I don't have one of those, so I just figured screw it. Our pre-show, it's not going to be the intro, it's just going to be us. Whatever conversation that we were starting 10 minutes
usually
before.
Shitting on Moose.
it's usually Moose related or something someone put in the Discord like 15 minutes before. And then we're just continuing that conversation.
You're not showing up on my left-hand screen.
In you said Sparty 1?
Oh, there you are.
Yep, Sparty 1.
Nice.
Any upsets?
Nothing too crazy. I mean, I got eliminated round 1, which
yeah, that was a fun ride.
Was upsetting to shoot minus 15 and get eliminated, but I think that was part of the fun of the random wheel.
Who'd you play?
Rocky Floyd.
All right, someone I don't know.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. I used to stream this game.
And I feel like that's going to be a good spot. So welcome everyone in to Red Fast Review episode 111. Kilbride is the creative man who used to come up with the title. So I decided I would take a shot with Don't Gameplay with My Heart, little
Ooh.
Backstreet Boys. So I hope I made you proud, Papa.
I like it. I like it.
Thank you.
You got everyone. I don't care who you are. You got to like some pop music.
Exactly.
Makes your life better.
So we are all, well, we're used to snow and cold weather, but I don't know about this cold. So, Kilbride, how is the weather up by you?
Yeah, fucking cold. It's real nipply up here. Single digits overnight for like a week plus, probably going on for another week or two. One of the lovely things that my contractor did in our home renovation is and I'm just learning what this thing is. A condensate pipe. Are you familiar with what a condensate pipe is?
I know what both of those words mean. You put them together and put it in a house. I have no idea what the hell that does.
So anyways, for air conditioning, so typically you would have some drainage or condensation from your air conditioning in the summer. But also tied into that pipe is I have a high efficiency or something like that. It's like hot water heater. I don't know. We have a new hot water. Well, it's like a tankless hot water heater. And it also has like a little bit of a slow drip, but that continuously drips throughout the winter. And a lot of times it's tied in with your main sewage, but sometimes they just have it let it drip outside. Well, when it's 1 degree out constantly, it's just leaving this big pile of ice. And it actually like made, I'll find a picture in a minute here, made like this nice pile, and it just like got higher and higher and higher, and until the point where it's like reaching the pipe, and it actually froze inside the pipe and then like started leaking inside the house. It was this whole thing. Anyways, I've been trying to figure out how to handle this situation over the past, I don't know, a few weeks. So like yeah, I guess this would be,
yeah, there we go. That's it looks real good.
So that's the pipe outside. My father-in-law helped me, and he had the idea. It used to come down about halfway. I'm probably not even pointing, or twice as much. And we cut it so it would drain and fall further, but that was the aftermath. It just continued to flow, even, build this big ice mountain. Anyways, it's freaking cold and we're dealing with ice constantly. I spent God knows how long chiseling off my car. I have a whole Mazda story that I won't get into because I'd rather talk about PGA, about how I don't have an automatic car starter anymore, even though I spent a boatload of money to have one installed when I bought the car several years ago. But I digress. Let's continue on with the show.
Broke boy Xbox problems.
I'm not gonna tell a story about a thing that I don't want to talk about, but I'm gonna still tell you the story about the thing that I'm going to talk about.
All right, I'll give you the very quick synopsis.
Pre-announcement to the announcement.
Bought it.
Yeah,
it was my first new car that I bought. It was a Mazda 6 2018. Love it, still have it to this day. One of the things that I said it was a must-have is a remote start, because being in Massachusetts, especially if I'm parked outside, it's like such a mandatory need, especially for the winter. You should let your car run 10 to 15 minutes if it's sub-zero. Anyways, they don't have like a typical button on your car. What they had at the time was a Mazda Mobile Start program, which was an app feature where you had a Mazda app and you could literally press a button. I'm like, this is actually sweet. The caveat was I had to pay like $600-700 to have this thing installed in the car. It didn't come equipped with it. But I was like, you know what? I'm splurging. I'm buying a new car. This is the one feature I must have. So I get it. 2 years in, I'm living at my condo. I have my car garaged that winter. Okay. So I'm not really frequently using this feature, or at all, actually. The following year, I go to use it. The program is discontinued. They no longer have the Mazda app or support it. And they also reached out to all the people who were active users within the past year, aka not me, and offered a reimbursement for a remote start to be put into the car. Mazda, this was the only thing that Mazda had, and now it's like some aftermarket thing that they're going to buy for everyone else. I reached out to Mazda corporate several times, and they basically just told me to go fuck myself. So I am sitting here now with no automatic car starter, and I refuse to buy Mazda. I love everything Mazda, but because of that one situation, I am living the rest of my life in spite of Mazda, and I will never buy another Mazda again. And because I've actually messaged them again, like in the past few weeks, because I was irritated, just to see if they said anything. And of course, they have not. So, anyways, I'm living in spite of Mazda. So
no Mazda sponsorship on the horizon.
No. They can go blow me until they fix. If they rectify that situation, they're right at the top of my food chain. I feel like they're a great, like lower tier brand, but like like I like their style. They have like good reliability and everything, but now, no thanks.
All right. Well, Pleated, I was going to say something nice, but then you brought up the fact that I messed up chat. For those that did not hear the story, again, working on the new layouts and everything. Couldn't figure out why chat didn't work, why you couldn't be seen last week. And then I came home the very next day and realized that when you're layering things in your OBS, if you want something to appear above, you need to move it above. So it was me being very stupid.
Yeah,
so pleaded at your old age, how are you handling this cold?
Like I had to go into the office yesterday, and so we do it once a week, and realized that I haven't drove my car for a while, and I had 2 flat tires. So in the morning I had to go deal with 2 flat tires. Now, the good news is it wasn't -10 like it was the day before. So it was actually, it was fine. My coworkers had some sympathy for me, and I told them if I would have had to come into the office on the -10 day, I would have just stayed home. And everyone's like, we would not have blamed you. So the cold doesn't really bother me because I don't have to leave the house unless I really want to. And so, it's nice and warm and cozy up here in the Bespoke League Lounge.
I will say, and Bear, you can relate to this. The other thing that absolutely blows about the winter is little children, because they need to get outside and blow off some steam. I don't know about your kids if they love just being outside or just doing anything outside.
Yes.
But my toddler now, oh my, I have nothing else to go to after a little while. It's the same toys over and over. I'm like, I'm just hammering the television as much as possible at this point. I'm running out of ideas here, buddy.
It's a free for all. And that's what, again, we've had the cold. We were off for the past 2 days, so that was a little nice, but coming back today was a shit storm at work. No car problem, so I'll knock on wood that I wasn't able to partake in that. But yeah, I'm right there with you. And again, one of the things of us kind of having this floating date for Red Fast Review is we're going to be able to pick and choose, because when we locked in on Monday, one of the unfortunate things is PGA does a really good job of releasing their information on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So we would always kind of be in this bind of crap. What do we do? So, again, appreciate everyone coming out, and we've got some gameplay to look at. So, gentlemen, I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure everyone in here's seen it, but we got to run through it for the cinematics.
I'm sorry that Moose isn't here, because this would have been the first time that you would have seen it.
Yeah, it would have been live reactions from Moose.
Yeah, we would have been able to go, Moose, what do you think of this? Whoa, that's crazy.
I've watched
Respawn's frame by frame
video
here,
3
or
times,
what?
So like I've watched this basically 150 times.
I was going to say, and everyone says the same thing. There's a copyright thing that's going to happen. I'm just going to play it all the way through. My joke when I did it on stream was I ended up playing what was the song? But I just ended up dubbing over it with like a super inappropriate song. And that
because of the music.
Because of the music, like anyway. So I picked a song at 125, made it super inappropriate, and so someone, a G-Dog popped in. He goes, oh, like you'll be okay, like don't worry about the copyright. And then the music started to play. He goes, oh, now I get it. So this time we're just gonna play it through.
All right, let's do it.
Gorgeous shot on Royal Portrush, I think there.
And
That
there
looked
was
really
that
good. The
little,
lighting too.
there's that little thing that you saw, but there was a person that was a part of making the video that ended up saying that this is all in-game camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the little twist. Left twist.
We've got some big names in the hunt this week.
I love the fact that it looks like we can make a
That's
chunky
why
boy.
he is Tiger Woods.
You know what bothers me? Maybe it's old age.
I'm gonna say you
The
tell
amount, and this is gonna come. Let me finish the thought. Someone's gonna clip this. The
Say it really quick.
The amount that they promote the women in the game, but they don't have the LPGA as an option.
That's valid.
That's the but.
I think that's.
I'm all for having the women, and like I'd love to, but like I feel like that's an easy like thing. Just like get that sponsorship or like a partnership rather, and then like throw a few courses in. You don't need to throw that many. And for all we know, you could have all 5 majors in there because like I don't think EA's targeting them. So,
No.
anyways,
Do we know? And again, this might go back to demographics, gamers. Would it pay off for them to target the LPGA?
I don't. I just don't see how much money it would cost them. It seems like an easy thing. So, like, if you just want to add that to the career mode, like, I mean, maybe it's a little tough to add like that whole nother option to a career mode, but just like get those. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there's more involved than I'm thinking that there is. But like, if you're gonna promote the women athlete, it bothers me a lot about the NHL series. Like, we're making it all about like the women skaters, but like I feel like you're not like integrating their leagues. Like I feel like what was it? NBA had at least like the WNBA involved or something like that. So like
Last 2 years.
if you're going to introduce like, and I'm all for inclusivity, if that's even the right word or a word.
Woke fast review.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, woke fast review. But like actually have their leagues. Like I don't want to play with, a woman on the PGA Tour when that just doesn't exist in real life. Like make it somewhat more realistic. Like if you want to, go for it, but like I don't know. Like
I mean, Michelle Wee and Annika Sorenstam.
What's the point of having Rose Zhang in the game?
You know.
I don't know. Go ahead.
You know what? Like, I'm going to say this a lot through the course of the video, but it kind of looks like that PGA might be like 1 or 2 development cycles behind what NBA is doing. And we'll talk a lot about that when we start getting into some of the stuff that we saw from screenshots that really like legitimately makes me excited. Like, I think what we're seeing here is the chance to it actually be a brand new game. And I'm very, very excited about what that opportunity might be, the new swings and the stuff that we're seeing. But NBA had the WNBA in for the last 2 years, and they're working on, integrating that. FC has had women in the game for, I think, the last 2 years, and they're getting better at integrating that. And I know that that's EA, but yeah, I think it's coming, Kilbride. I think it's coming.
Good.
I think that, just maybe not this iteration.
Yeah, it just seems like a poor rollout, like if you're going to have it, like just put a little bit more effort into it other than just putting a couple faces in there. But I guess it's probably to save face, ironically, that they are doing something in that direction. So I don't know. Do you want to go like from the start of the trailer and just like slowly break down or just kind of spitball all over the place here?
I mean, I'm kind of about going through it. We can talk about this and just say stop when you want to, because there was one thing here that a lot of people bring up. Here,
just going back to Portrush, like before we even get to that Tiger, like just quickly on the Open, if you even can toggle back to that screen, the lighting is sensational here. And I know we've had some horrific lighting. Like people don't like, I know I've seen in Hemo's room several times, and I kind of agree with him. Like, I don't even want to play the course sometimes because the lighting is so poor. And I know that's partially due to the setup, but it's also partially, I don't know. The lighting just looks phenomenal. I just want to have like good contrast and everything like that. And even like a few frames back, I think on this, just like that like over the grand shot of the grandstand. Yeah, this one. It's just like seeing that light glisten in all of the. I'm using the wrong words here. How it looks off of the grass, the graphics and the rendering, and I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass, but just the way it looks, the presentation here, phenomenal. So if that is a sign of things to come, and there's some sort of element that the designers can use, oh boy, are we in for a treat.
Yeah, and these assets all look really good. Like, look at that open scoreboard leaderboard with the clock and the grandstands. It felt like the last couple iterations, those little like extra details were throwaways, and they really didn't add to the immersion. But I really think that they're going to add to the immersion this year. Like, the graphics look absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be really interested to see what non-PC at the highest level looks like, and what we console gamers are going to be able to see. But I'd imagine pretty close.
I would think so. I'll be getting it on PC for sure because I want to see what it's looking like maxed out. But at the same time, like, even if I have to dial it back, I just want to test it out there. Respawn's mentioning draw distance. Is that the graphics off in the distance? Is that what that means more so? Yeah. So like, yeah, seeing all of that stuff off in the distance and not losing that rendering, is phenomenal. So, and I think I've said it a couple times, just the presentation of a golf game is so critical because like it's not that much, like it's such a leisurely game. So when you're just when you're just playing the game and looking around a lot, like all of that stuff matters a lot more, I think. Anyways.
How many times did I take a tour of the subdivisions in some of the courses? Just had to see what was going on. And it was the same car in the same house, copy and pasted one after another after another.
Say Drummond's coming in speaking for the designers. Again, it's one of those things that we, as the people playing it, know the potential of one or two of those little minor fixes. And we're going to get into the side-by-side screenshots looking at previous 2K23 versus what we've seen so far. And even down here, it says these are all on PC. And just some of the camera angles are adjusted, which if you've played this game, like some of those camera angles, when you're putting, how many times you've had a putt and you go, well, I'm sorry, I have no idea if it went in or not. Like you're just listening for the hole.
Oh, yeah.
That makes me go, okay, we're talking different camera angles. Are we taking that step? So again, that's what makes me excited.
Yeah, I'd love to see a different one on the putting. That is a brutal one when it's breaking towards your feet and you're like trying to look around, or you're just like pressing random buttons on the D-pad to get an alternate shot, but it changes you to like 60 yards away from the other angle. Like I'm like squinting now to look to see if it went in. Yeah, thanks a lot for that.
Yeah. Again, one of those little things that when I saw it goes, some camera angles adjusted, I go, we're talking camera angles. I do like this.
Yeah.
Beer Giant, probably. And that's one of the things that got me really excited that, it's not going to be straightforward. Keep going. Keep rolling.
Bear. If you want to go press pause, I'm going to teach you a little trick here if you don't already know it.
Give me one frame. What's one frame?
One frame. Use the comma and period button. It's literally one frame at a time. Oh my God,
I love you so much.
Yeah, how awesome is that little tip? Yeah.
I need a moment right now. We're gonna just take a little rip off the fidget pen here.
Now, if this was really true, Tiger's caddy would have already slapped that guy that has his phone out.
So So this is where I want to be able to have Tiger to turn around and GTA style take that golf club right to that. I want to be able to kick this spectator out. These are the key points that we need to really enhance the realism. Like, this guy definitely yelled potato salad right after he hit that ball.
Yeah, we need Bob Does Sports integration, like with all of his heckling from, while you're walking from hole to hole or something like that.
And also,
Baba Bowie.
Side note, because I did want to talk about this, because Kilbride, I know you are a huge Bob Does Sports guy.
I am.
Did you see
Love
his
him.
recent interaction with Rory?
Yeah, with Rory.
where he asked
That was
Rory,
great.
he asked Rory at a gas station, "Hey, we got to have you on the show sometime." And Rory basically went, "I have no idea who you are."
Yeah.
And,
Ever hear of Bob Does Sports? No.
no. Well,
Okay.
Yep. And then
Just like in his classic, like dry humor after the fact, as he's eating a bowl of chicken tortilla soup, he breaks the whole thing down. He's like, "Who the fuck do I think I am?"
that
But of
moment
course,
where he-
Rory did respond to it immediately after, because he had so many of the, probably PGA
Oh,
guys
God, yeah.
texting Rory just like, "Hey,
like, hey, he's a
this
good
guy
dude.
isn't a complete wacko."
Yeah, but I liked Bob at the end going, "Hey, thanks for all you do for YouTube," and then just like looking at the camera going, "Thanks for all you do for YouTube." He's a golfer. I go, I panicked. So again, if you want to check that out, you can. Again, gentlemen, just let me know when you want me to stop.
Yeah, the
When they
crowd's looking better
Columbus
there. Go
next
ahead.
year, you should go down and see if you could get someone to come on the Red Fast Review and see what the response would be.
God. Just drive around in my bear suit and just be like, "Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
do you know who the bear is? What? Stop.
We'd like to have you on the Red Fast Review.
Stop. Don't call the cops. I swear. They, oh, shit."
Yeah, everything looks good there. I don't really have too much to comment, other than I think the crowd does look a little bit better. I'm interested to see how the crowd interaction is, or if there's a little bit more chatter or whatnot. I do think it adds an element to the game, and I think it's a screenshot later. And I remember watching Respawn's video and breakdown. He stopped around a huge gallery around 18 on the Waste Management. Like, specifically, if they like amp that up, like the only thing that like the 23 did was like they tried to make a vibe around that par 3 16th hole, but just maybe there's a more rowdy crowd all around at Waste Management, or like just it would be nice to have a little bit more environment, and I think they're taking steps in that direction. I don't think it's gonna be monumental, but I think there's going to be some improvement.
Pin physics. Are we thinking this is different? I know this is usually something. Look at this.
Yeah,
it's the comma. It's the comma.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a chip. You can't tell. Like,
I mean, if you're hitting
so
so
much
foot
that-
up on the pin on a chip, like,
there's only so much that you can see in this stuff when you don't actually see the actual gameplay. So I'm not taking I'm taking everything that we see here with a grain of salt.
Yeah, and again, that's why we are the content creators of rampant speculation of screenshots, and I'm coming the hell out of this video to see, well, like what's this? So that's why I saw it hit the pin and I go, is that different? I don't know if that's different. Like,
yeah, it doesn't really look all that different.
we should ask Moose. Moose,
I have a hot
always,
take
like,
when we get to
drill.
Evo swing, but I'll wait till we get there.
All right, yeah, I can get you there.
Oh, the bag. Yeah, the bag looks good, and I know it'll say it later, like golf bag 1, but I forget who said it. I don't know. Why don't we have head covers on? At least the woods, but that's a little odd. But yeah, that's
I've
right. Yeah,
watched them all,
Seamount was
so,
saying
yeah.
that. It's like, that's a little odd not having it. Maybe you're showcasing the brands, but nevertheless, I hope there's a little bit more caddy customization. Like, if you're adding them, once again, like, I'd like them, instead of just adding little things, like, if you're gonna add it, like, make it real, like, put a little effort into it so that we can have some fun with it. Not like hey, I'm choosing this one guy caddy and I can't customize anything about him. Maybe his attire, his name, I mean, not that his name will come up much, but like, I don't know. Just
No, I agree. Because
same with the golf bag too.
we all had that thought of, oh my goodness, they've added caddies. And I would be pressed to ask people, like, what does your caddy look like right now? Because
You know what would be great?
Yeah.
They're already doing so much with the different pros and cons. Have a caddy somehow affect your attributes.
Hey,
Maybe that's too much because
I think that could be good for career.
They still have the balls, which is just silly enough
Everybody-
anyway. So
everybody
we probably
loves the
already have a
balls.
little bit too much on that. But maybe, I don't know.
I never thought that the ball idea was all that bad of a idea anyway. Like it gave more ability to customize. It's just when you get down
It was
to
the balancing.
well, yeah, like when you get to the highly sweaty like competition where, you know, people are losing friendships over a round of virtual golf,
That was
like
me.
that it matters. Like I thought that it gave a little bit of variety, and I think that what we've seen, and we'll talk about it later, is bringing variety. And my question is, will the community like the variety?
As people who got to do the launch of 2K23, I think at least for the past couple of years, the standard line is when people come in and they ask you, you know, what's your difficulty settings? And they start rattling off those. I think we all kind of had that quote unquote canned comment of what makes this game great is you can customize your difficulty levels. And again, we'll bring that up later because we'll talk about some of the people that are really excited about the game, but it's what do they do with that entry difficulty level to keep people around? Was that when you start to, like Kilbride saying, when you're adding the caddy does this, the clubs do this, the balls do this, this hat will do this. That's where it can become that overwhelming feature for people that are new to the game, which again, hey, we'll gladly help you out here on the Red Fast Review to let you know what you need to have. But it's one of those things that if you kind of ease into it and you say at this entry level, here's your bag, here's your caddy, here's this, and then you have a good career mode to say, hey, welcome to, is it still the web.com? Did they change it again?
FedEx.
FedEx.
Well, I mean, it's PGA Tour. I don't
what's
really. It's
the,
FedEx Cup playoffs.
The opening one, the minor leagues.
Corn Ferry.
Oh, Corn Ferry.
Is it Corn Ferry? So you get to Corn Ferry, and then you go, hey, here's your opening match. Here's what your caddy's going to do. Like, you almost make that Corn Ferry mandatory, where your first couple of events are your tutorial.
Yeah.
Like, I would love that.
Be nice if they had legit
Respawn
Corn Ferry
mentions-
courses too. Go ahead.
Yes.
Complexity is sometimes a detriment. Complexity for the sake of only complexity is a detriment. Complexity for a robust gameplay is, I think, what we all want.
Right. Yes.
Like I think of Path of Exile 2. If you played Path of Exile 1 from the beginning, and you knew all of the little things, it wasn't going to be that complex. If you started playing PoE 1 like 3 years later, you're just going to be blown away by just an insanely complicated mess of different systems. So it's all about how those systems integrate and how easy they are to understand. And if they are there and they're done well, they're going to be a adding to the game. If they're just there and they're kind of like halfway thought out, like club fittings were in this last game, because how many times did they kind of try to shadow nerf them and people just went crazy? Like if they've learned from their mistakes and they tweak it and make it like a good balanced complexity that allows for people to have different playing styles, then this game will take the next step that it's needed to take.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's always all about circles back to balance, I
Yes.
think.
Yeah. And being able to understand it and to be
Yeah,
able
understanding
to
is
show it inside of the game.
So we got Fitz, good ball flight, Pebble, that was a great shot. Homa, Stadium, characters. Head
Characters.
presets, like, yeah.
So again, the presets, if you've ever seen the Scud abominations that he can create by adjusting eyes, nose, all of that, I think those are the standards that they've kept.
Right.
So I don't know if there's much to talk about here.
Nah.
I don't think so. I hope there's a lot more customization beyond that, but looks like we can get the thick boys in the game.
Yeah, the thick boys have honestly been a big topic.
Yeah, and
And
something to
rarity.
think about with that is I'll go back to a 2K deal. Your size in 2K NBA 2K affects your attribute maxes inside of the game. Like, it might be kind of cool to see a little bit more weight leads to maybe a little bit more power than, someone that is built like an out of bounds steak, like Moose.
Yeah, but then you have
And I
guys like
think that
Rory
those-
leading the league, leading the tour in driving distance too. So I think that
Yeah.
like
Because I'll
throws
tell you,
stuff
when
off.
NBA 2K releases, I spend hours in the builder just trying to figure out where sort of maxes are and what you can kind of try to tweak to get one extra ability or something. And I think that would be really freaking cool.
And
Mhm.
selfishly, like the content whore, like those 2K builds, as someone who doesn't dive into 2K basketball, I live and die by those of like, how can I get the most badges on this guy? How can I get the most badges? Like, for the people making those videos, I think that would be cool. I don't know, kind of like Kilbride said, you get those skinny twigs that can just pipe the ball. I don't know if it really translates, but it still could be an idea that you can toss around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you just gotta, if you're a little bit taller, maybe you can hit the ball a little bit farther. And that's the detriment of accuracy. And I think that there's this is the stuff that I'm speculating on that I'm actually really excited to see inside of the game, because your build could matter. Or like, you are playing the game for a year and you decide, all right, I've been my big boy, I know how to do that. Let's start a new character and let's make a, skinny, accurate guy. And it could lead to a lot more replayability of the game.
Oh yeah.
Forehead presets.
Again, you
is
want
the thick boy
yeah,
and
you
Sawgrass.
want your thick boy here.
Yep. Sawgrass looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why can't we have unlimited color options for these things? Like, that's
Yeah, the old color wheel. But I mean, I get at least on the 2K stuff, I get the branded apparel to a degree, but even still, I mean,
Oh, I just saw this. Do you see that up there? Body type A only. That's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Because I shouldn't be allowed to wear a skinny fit anything.
Yeah.
What's the rule? What's the rule of 30?
Oh, so it's the rule 36.
Oh, 36.
The only way that you're allowed to wear a white belt on a golf course, if you are under 36 years old, if your waist size is under 36, or you average shooting 36 and under on 9 holes. Any other time, no white belt.
Pleaded.
I like that rule.
Pleaded. I believe you've pointed something out that I don't know if I've heard it anywhere else.
Respawn's actually making a good point. It could be male, female, but who knows?
That could be.
What are you?
Rampant
what-
Body
speculation.
type A being male, female.
Yeah, but again,
But I don't know.
At least it dives into. I wish it would have been like body type J, to where we could just
Yeah, exactly.
go crazy of like, oh my goodness, look at all these body types. Like right now, all right, body type A, we'll be able to see what's going on. But yeah, the big and tall section in the clubhouse.
Yeah. Why do you think I
We've
have
got
so
some-
many hats and shoes? It doesn't matter. Those don't really scale. Like I could go to a store and buy my size shoe. Can't necessarily do the same thing with shirts.
Makes
Need
it
to get on
easier.
Respawn's diet.
Big names in the hunt this week.
Okay,
And that
pros,
is why he is
Genesis.
Tiger
This looks all the
Woods.
same other than the graphics. Sunday Red.
Help me.
The caddy high five. Like I wonder if we'll have more of that. Although I feel like I always hammer through all those screens
Yeah.
anyway. So like I don't even know if I'm gonna see them.
Like, why do we care about the caddy cut shots? We're just gonna
Yeah.
triangle through them
I
anyway.
know.
Like I said, all I want to do is give me my Fortnite emotes after I make a putt. That's what I want. The voice. The voice of the
John
guy.
McCarthy.
No, not McCarthy. Listen to the guy when he tees off. Again, I'm not sure who
Oh,
it
I don't
is.
even have audio here.
We've
I won't have audio, so you're gonna have to lead this, Bear.
Oh, this is not good then. I just didn't know if it was a new voice.
got some big names in the hunt this week.
Oh, yeah.
And that is why
I mean, I
he
saw
is
John
Tiger
McCarthy
Woods.
comment or like it, so I feel like he's probably still in the game.
Well,
Hopefully.
I wanted to tweet
I
it.
hope he is.
I wanted to
Yeah,
tweet at
okay.
McCarthy. Like, I can't wait 2 weeks before I shut your commentary off.
yeah.
And you know, I've always I mean, he likes me more than you because I keep
That's
his
everyone.
commentary on.
I do too.
And he has told me a number of cases that he thinks that I might be the only person that plays the game that does that.
There's still a good chunk of people that have him on, and I'll pop in and then I'll hear the voice. I go, why do you still have him? But again, John, thank you for all you do. All right, you are loved and welcomed in the den. But I hate your commentary.
Oh man, it was better than that. The only time that I played the career mode was that first week trying to break par for the first time. To have Rich Beam just eviscerate me every single round over and over. Like I'm already pretty fragile. And he just like I was like a pigeon in his hands, and he chose to suffocate me.
I don't know if I want that visual.
Good looking tee boxes.
All
Oh,
right.
There's the Evo swing.
I love this, other than perfect, just because I have flashbacks to MLB, but contact, rhythm, transition, swing path, the fact that it's not straight back and straight through, like there are so many things to be excited about here. So many things.
So here's the thing, and I think it's a good thing in my opinion. I could be very wrong on this. Other than the actual angle of the swing, that is the only thing I feel like I don't know about, and if that's like naturally setting up for a cut bias or if it's whatever it might be. And if you actually need, or maybe it's calibrated that way and you need to do it, or whatever it may be. Other than that specific angle, and like I said, I think this is a good thing and I want this. I think the Evo swing is exactly the same as the 2K23 swing, exactly to a T, which I love, but we simply just have a ton more information and feedback.
Yes.
So I'm not 100% sure about that. And I'm going to go back to NBA.
Okay.
This year, they added something that was called rhythm shooting, which if you're normally familiar with the with NBA, you could use you could go down on your D-pad and then release just like that to be able to do a shot.
Mhm.
And that was kind of how you did the that version of the shot. This year you could do another one where you set and then you moved up all the way, sort of like the golf swing. And the transition and the speed that you did the transition was what ended up leading to whether or not you had a bigger green window or not. And seeing this stuff here, the differentiation between rhythm and transition, which I think of rhythm is sort of like the going back, and then the transition's probably the going through. I think that showing that and making it a part of the swing at a analytical level here that they show on the screen could be really, really, really game breaking, depending on how they end up implementing it. I imagine they implement it like they implemented rhythm shooting in NBA 2K.
Well, and something that does add more context to this, because when this released a few days ago, I had more questions than anything to be confident about. But now that we know some of Tiger's attributes that go along, now we're able to see, okay, contact, rhythm, transition, take that with his stats. You see that that's a pretty wide angle for those misses. And then I want to see what happens if Tiger is a little bit off on the rhythm. Does it still trigger that? I've been calling them badges because it's 2K, but those badges with the T, because when we get later and you see the bad shots, they don't trigger. So I wonder that balancing. The hexagons, yes, we were talking about shapes a lot Wednesday going over this, but I like more feedback, because there was always that man behind the curtain going, well, does my pull down affect my swing tempo going forward? And I was always one of the people that said 100% yes, but it was a guess. And now that you can see, all right, your swing path does have something, your transition, your rhythm, all of that, there are four things that go into you going back and forward now.
And you're going to have attributes inside of the game that you can decide to add to or not to add to make these things easier or harder. And I think that that's where you start layering all of these new, again, rampant speculation, but all these new systems that we're kind of seeing here is what makes me really, really, really excited, because you might be able to make a John Daly who hits the ball really far, has no accuracy, and a good short game, or you could make yourself a Mike Weir who barely hits the ball out of his shadow, but is always accurate and has a killer short game.
What a name drop there.
I was going to say the lefty Canadian that he drops out there.
4 wood on Shinnecock Hills 18 to win a major.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, circling back, like, I think it's like visually everything obviously looks a lot better. I think the information is paramount in what is presented to us. I think it's overall, to me, I feel, and I honestly hope that the swing feels almost identical, with maybe some minor tweaks, or maybe there's more just customization to it that I'm not thinking, similar to what you're suggesting, Pleated, with that push forward back or whatever. If we could do stuff like that, that would be really cool. Or if the calibration was a little bit more in depth and provided some feedback and information to it. But like, I just feel like all of these things are kind of hidden right now to a degree, and we're just not provided with this actual text feedback in 23. Like I said, with the exception 100% of completely saying of this angled swing, that I don't know if that's a draw, cut, bias or whatever, but
I've tried to see the setup and it switches so quick.
Yeah,
I wanted to see ball flight.
That should be a cut. That should be
correct
outside
for a
in.
righty. Yeah, is it? Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know. Is this a righty or a lefty?
Yeah,
it's Tiger.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if it's Tiger, then yeah, I would think it would be a cut. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no wind meter that I saw in any of these. again, just one of those things of trying to break this down to see what we can get. But again, I'm excited for it. I have optimism that it's going to be more beneficial to have that feedback than it will be to just sit there and go back, forward, perfect.
Yeah. Assuming that those things matter,
Mhm.
right? Like more information is always going to be great.
Yeah. I really hope they didn't do too much tinkering, but we'll see.
I hope they did a little bit. I want them to still keep innovating.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, 100%. And when we get there, the attribute thing is what I'm most excited for.
Mhm. Me too.
Ball physics, big bounce.
Tough to tell. I mean, the rough shot where it goes into the crowd that Respawn broke down his video. I don't know if there's another good rough shot where it dies out much better. That is very exciting because the bouncy rough in 23 and the predecessors seem a bit unrealistic. So as far as the fairways, I feel like the ball rolls fine, especially, catering to the different firmness of the fairway as it currently stands. Obviously, the stickiness around the greens can be improved, but I would say stickiness around the greens and then the, how soft it lands in thick rough would be my two biggest wants from ball physics. But the actual fairway and everything, fantastic. Oh yeah, and drops.
Drops.
Drops are horrendous.
Drops. We've only been talking about that since the Golf Club 19, but you know what? Hey, we got fat golfers. All right. Okay. Being able to see what happens when you put loft on it, a little bit of this is, I hope personally this is one of those visual aids that you can trigger on or off. Probably I shouldn't say that because I'm probably one of the worst pitch players when I put loft on a ball and can't decide like how much further it's going. But the amount of people that have entered the den and do have both sticks switched in what is the angle of attack and what is your loft.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that, again, when we talk about entry into the game to figure everything out, I think this is something that is really good to have turned on at the beginning.
Absolutely.
It goes down to tutorial things. We've all answered that question a billion times, so much that what initially got me a lot of follows on TikTok is when I did like the 3-part, here's how all of these things relate to a swing. And it shouldn't be content creators creating that stuff exclusively. The game should help us explain that a little bit. But I don't care if they show like arrows like this, and you can turn them on or off. Like it ultimately doesn't matter. Like,
yeah.
I want them there.
I have a bone to pick. Why is this bunker raked by a crackpot? Can we not have like a little bit better visual in the sand? Like I get like it looks like the rake is every which way. Like if we're leaving rake lines, shouldn't they all be in the same direction, or should it just be a little bit smoother?
Like,
do you want me to tell you whose course it is? Because I know whose course it is, and
is
it might be an ongoing meme over the past year or two.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a B101 course.
But like, is the bunker something that's talked about? You're saying this course in particular is getting.
It's just Ben has become a living meme. With some of the courses he's created, he created a course that made Maddie look like a saint, and so he's taken some heat.
Oh, yeah.
And again, he's done a good job of taking it in stride. So any chance that we can get to throw
do we
that.
Do we have
Kilbride, bunkers are supposed to be hazards. They're not supposed to be manicured perfectly.
Do we have True. It just Yeah, it looks like if we're showing rake lines, you would think there would be some consistency. I'd rather just no rake lines, but hey, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, does anyone have a update on Arctic Fury? Like, is he like locked away somewhere, please?
I was gonna say.
I hope no one has an update and he's just dialed in and he's 20 hours a day locked into his new course.
Just all the new courses. But this was a created course that has already been ported over, which was pretty nice to see that they've already ported over some of these created courses.
Hopefully Evangelist.
God, Evangelist. Graphically,
Ben's video.
Graphically, as again, someone who may or may not like to put way too much shit on their screen, the new overlay feature where everything is down now in the bottom right hand corner, so you could see that they've got the ball, they've got the percentage down in the right hand corner, you've got your yardage down there. The only thing that I did not see was the elevation going to the pin, but other than that, that's usually on the marker standard wise. But
great point. I do love the consolidation in one location.
It looks clean. Again, as someone who, hand up, I do understand I put way too much shit on here sometimes, but I like how clean that looks, to where I know that bottom right hand corner is now sacred, and I need to make sure that anybody coming in, you need to be able to see that to get those reactions, to go, okay, now I know what's happening. Where before it was your swings down right, up in the top right hand corner, you're gonna get your yardage. Over on the left hand corner, top left, that's where your score is. So I'm all for a cleaner look. Again, right to left swing.
I do think, bunker, that seems like the swing path, right? Like you would have more open face and you would be kind of swinging that closed path. Is that not accurate? Pleated? Or bare?
Pleated?
Yeah, so
I feel like you're the guru on this analysis.
Yeah,
no offense, Bear.
Open up, go a little bit outside in.
Yeah.
Those will be things that will be interesting to see. Like, and here we see, I like the fact that, they're showing us the percentages of closed and swing path. I would imagine that the swing path is the bottom and the contact is the top, because I could see being to the left of perfect to be closed.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah, and I could see that if your swing path is a little bit more outside, it could be a natural pull.
So, and here's where we get those badges, those beautiful, beautiful hexagons, coming back into where he's perfect on the rhythm, perfect on the transition. -2 with a pull, but you're still within that range. -5, you're closed. This is where we see the shot, but we don't see the landing.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, please just let me see a little bit more. Just let me see. Give me the injection of one full hole, two filled holes, 2 holes filled.
Go back on this one, because I think we might be able to see something here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'll do that comma.
The pin looks to be right in the middle, right in the middle of the green. So they're basically going there, right in the middle. Then let's advance forward and let's see this backswing.
All right, so we'll break this down. Again, he goes straight back, kind of tails back.
So he's going kind of like, okay, so look at that, boom, and then
this guy sucks. Oh boy,
yeah,
It's a
and
meteor
look, like, so
dropped out of
that
space.
should be push and open if I would be looking at what it looks like that he did there.
So the camera guy.
Shouldn't have been standing there.
Jesus.
Shouldn't have been standing there. Again, it's so many questions of, all right, so that would be what is the dreaded slow of, all right, you really messed up. You went underswing. Rhythm being off 0.02 of a second is scary. But again, it's pro. This is 1.5. I don't know this guy's skill tree. I don't know what this guy is. This his first time playing? I have so many questions. Here's the other thing that drives me nuts about this. The multiplier does say 1.5. It goes into the water, and then you get the clear, and then, come on, 1.36. Why?
I feel like that has to be a graphic in the promo video, because you're not going to see that in the actual gameplay. Like I think that's just an overlay, and they didn't patch that together correctly from the person who made this video, because that 1.5 and 1.36 is not going to be in the live gameplay.
Correct.
And they probably put that along with the pro up as like an overlay on top of this, but they just didn't time it correctly.
Could be also like a dynamic type of difficulty sort of thing. I wouldn't put too much into that, but I think what we can see is how the swing path and stuff are going to work. And it just, I think that those, what we saw there from the swing and how it translated into the shot makes sense to me on what you would see if push and pull and open and close are a thing, and they are being calculated, one at the take back and that the other one on the follow through. I think that's cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm all about that, because then the Pro-Am, they had, that's where that Pro-Am comes
too.
in.
Yeah, so that's okay. So there's a third multiplier is what you're pointing out. I didn't
And then it goes to
realize that.
amateur. Again.
Oh, okay.
Because you're giving me the periods and commas now, I can break this down a little bit further. So, I mean, like in that real quick span, just like you're saying, whoever put that overlay there, they were trying to do all of that.
Yeah.
But then now you go to amateur, it's straight back, straight forward.
This is beautiful.
And now we get a dead nut straight shot, even though there's a little bit of a pull on the back. And then we get it to hit high up on the pin.
Yeah, the bounce on the green does seem a bit aggressive, but I'm not going to read too much into that. I really don't want to care that much.
Yeah, it's one of those of like, still just let me see one hole of playthrough.
If I'm hitting the pin, it's not going to be that much of an issue.
Again, animations, we got the 2K clubs all up in the bag.
Yeah, once again, I could care less if it has to be labeled 2K. Just give me all the different clubs. Give me the 1-iron back, please.
I've been trying to tell them, you put a 1-iron and a drop zone in any of these videos, you're going to have the people going crazy. So, new overlay with the ranked matchmaking, the ranked tours, which is going to be your daily, weekly tournaments, I'm assuming, from what they have revealed. And the online societies. Gentlemen, are we getting more than 10?
That would be lovely, especially where we have cross plat. You know, it's like that's gonna be glorious.
Do you think we'll
bump us
more
up to
than
20,
10?
please? That would
20?
be so freeing that you could just join a bunch, you know, or unlimited. But I doubt that's going to happen. I don't know.
I mean, within this call right here, we have 3 societies that we will be locked in to play. Then you add your TGC, you add the side stuff. Again,
well, if you're in all the TGC, that's like 7 alone.
Mm-hmm. Again, and the people do get a pretty good taste of I get in, I drop this, I move that. But my goodness, if you just said you get 20, what's the harm? Only 4. Eat shit, Respawn.
That's fine.
Scott
That'll
said
be enough
8
for
too.
me.
You can also eat shit.
Yeah.
That will be enough for me.
hmm
Yeah, the quantity will be great for the online societies if that's bumped up. That's the only thing I have other to really say in that. Like I said, it was the biggest ask I wanted outside of the graphics to cross-plat societies. They have that box checked off. I'm already happy as can be. Ranked tours, just really interested to see how they integrate that. I'm thinking it's not related to TGC tours, and there's not a collaboration there. Although who knows? Maybe that would be cool if it was,
Wow.
but I'm not banking on it.
Don't put
And
that
then
carrot
ranked
out there.
matchmaking would be
'cause that'd
cool,
be cool.
too, is if they have multiple different, if they, especially if they have, like if I click that ranked matchmaking and it brings up another screen with several different options is my hope. You know what I mean? Like I'm entering this, next screen and there's a whole bunch of different options. Not that I'm clicking that and I'm like, then I have to click one more button saying ready. Like I hope there's a lot of different variations in the ranked matchmaking.
Yeah, you want me to put the pipe bomb in there of the next thing that you see is 3-click or swing stick?
Yeah. Yep.
The
Or
the
like
great divide.
it could be combo. Like you could just say I don't care, or you just designate 3-click swing stick, whatever. But I mean, clearly the inputs make a massive difference, and it's frustrating, and is a big deterrent as it currently is at the higher levels. Not that I ever really got into it, but I could see that it was very frustrating, especially at a pro level, right? Like maybe it's not as big of an issue if you go to Masters or Legend Swing, whatever it is. I would imagine it still is, because that line is always straight, right? It's a circle. So, I mean, that line is always, whether it's straight from the bottom right or straight from the bottom left or whatever. I mean, I don't know, like, if it really matters or not, but
Yeah, again,
whatever.
the game's anti-lefty bias. I've yet to see a lefty
Truce and
swing,
rank.
so
I really hope they don't get rid of 3-click. It's an accessibility
no.
Oh,
thing
absolutely.
that
No.
allowed more people to play the game.
Yeah, they should definitely, that would be a really dumb move if they got rid of that.
no, I don't think they will.
Instantly, Chewy wouldn't get the game. Where
Mm-hmm.
with 3-click, he's comfortable with that and will play the game.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
wait.
mean, just expand upon this as much as possible. Oh, did they? What was that last screenshot?
Yep. So I
Join
think
room
once
code
you go
leaderboards.
in,
So that's kind of what concerns me.
once you
other
go
than
into
it-
the matchmaking, you need one more. You need
Got it.
another layout
Yeah.
of
Yes.
those boxes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another, just like a whole screen, and I just want a bunch of different options. The more, the better.
We like options.
Yeah.
Again, love this cowboy.
Oh yeah. I mean, that guy looks fantastic. I remember my guy in 19, and I had him all decked out to look like a 1980s porn star or something like that, and he was looking real nice, and just like the cowboy outfit, like just go full customization on the outfits and stuff. Give us a whole bunch of options here. That'd be fantastic.
All right. And probably the most important thing that we're people are tuning in. Gene's on the golf course. How do we feel about it, gentlemen?
Video game, go for it. Put whatever you want on.
Pleaded.
Yeah, like in the game, I don't care. In real life, it's an abomination.
Yeah, correct. Exactly. Couldn't agree more.
I don't understand how you can swing in jeans. That's just more that side of my brain going like that just wouldn't be comfortable to be.
Well-
Again, they're at the waist management. It has to be 90 degrees. This cowboy is definitely roasting his nuts right now in those.
In a post-COVID world, I don't know how anyone is wearing hard pants anymore. Like, I refuse. I refuse.
Maybe that could be an option. Like, did you baby powder your balls again in game before you stepped out to the course? And as you move on, like maybe that affects the Evo swing.
Yeah, the amount of chafe
Especially a big boy
makes the
right there.
transition harder.
You know what
Or
I
you can
don't
put
like?
injuries in the game, and like, I f up a hip and can't make a full swing. Let's get some real realism here.
Let's incorporate the EA college football progression.
I have to say something here. I don't know who Wizard Sticks is, but can we please time them out? Because if there is not a flamingo putter in the game, I refuse to play.
Mods, listen to Daddy pleaded. 10 seconds, he gets the cone.
It is a mod, isn't he?
Put him in the cone. All right.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, like do all that customization. One thing, not a big fan of the tour names. Very little thing, but like, does any person, like even half the people in this chat, do you actually know what a condor is? It's a hole-in-one on a par 5. Like why? Like it's such an obscure word and term. Why not just call it like PGA Tour, Corn Ferry Tour, DP World Tour, or like maybe you don't have those licensing names, but like I don't know. Like I'd rather just like platinum, gold, silver, or something like that. I don't know. I feel like these names are super cheesy, especially with condor being top. Like I guess it is a cool word, but it's so infrequently used. Like we hardly ever use albatross. Never mind condor. I don't know. Silly complaint, I know, but like
I think that's your old man showing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, that's your old man
showing. So grumpy.
Yeah, grumpy old man.
Okay, the name. The
these
names
kids these days and their condors.
I'm okay with jeans on in the PGA Tour, but the condor is just one step too far.
Yeah, all these kids doing their speed training, trying to get 200-mile-an-hour ball speed so they can hit down a speed shoot and just shoot for hole-in-ones on these par 5s so they can get a condor bet. But hey, that would be a fun trick shot, right? A nice little challenge. There's a speed slot and there's already like a par 5 set up, and you can hit a par 5 hole-in-one. Like
they're called silly sevens courses.
I mean, but those have funnels to them. Those are silly.
See, again, if you want to go into old man, this is what drives me nuts. Is it shows condor, and then the next one that they show, I typed
eagle,
hold,
right?
please. Yep.
Or bird.
It goes to eagle.
Yeah.
And then they show this guy just completely shanking again.
Yes, this guy belongs in double bogey.
The zone on the eagle, again, I don't know his fittings. I don't know his attributes. I don't know anything about this guy other than that he's a thick boy. That is a tinier window than what is on ranked right now.
Oh yeah, right. That's a tiny rant.
So again, I know the purpose of this was to show that there's a new 4 animation.
Ooh, that took a bad
of him being able to point it out.
Yeah.
But I do like the crowd reaction here of everyone in the back feeling shame, just like him. The one guy still has his phone out because he's a sick bastard. But it's better than some of the reactions now when you hit a bad shot and all of a sudden it's like, nah, all right. And now it seems like if you hit a bad shot, then hey, you're going to hear about it if you've got all the followers.
Not that I'm going to really care all that much, but 2 people to the left of this guy, gray dress, is she the exact same, just looking at the ground, to the guy next to the phone with the gray dress?
Yeah, these are the same people that were in the game the last time,
Right.
Like,
yeah, well, it just stinks that like in the same shot we're seeing the same person. Like I would like a little bit better on the fan side, but it's so low on the priority list for me that I don't care. Just happen to notice it on the still frame. Go ahead. Lots of gray too. Like, can we get a little bit of color? Jesus Christ, people! It's the summertime.
Yikes.
So again, this bounce Respawn did cover this one a lot.
Yeah, this is the bounce. Yeah.
But
it also hits a person. It's a spectator, which would be nice if there is spectator interference or whatever. But this one I thought was a bit tough to fully see exactly how the ball reacts because it kind of gets smothered in there. But if
Yeah.
it grabs better in the rough, that'll be glorious. Like just any
I'll
better
test this out
rough
plenty. I'll test
Yeah.
this out plenty
Yeah,
for
yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
Day one, we've got you covered on the rough.
Yikes. Shake it off.
I do 100 on a highway.
Okay, take it pro. Oh, here we. Yeah, XP.
So, yeah.
Okay, XP. Yeah.
So the big thing we talked about was you're at a level 24 here, and
Yep.
you're almost getting that full level after
Yep.
this round. So I don't want it to max out at 50 again. Again, I
Yeah.
give me more to grind.
Yeah, that would be tough if you get to level 50 in literally under a week. Although, I mean, you know, the way like a G Dog plays or something like that, it's going to be under a week no matter what. But,
G-Dog will
you
get
know,
it
like if
that
there's
day.
something after the fact where you can continue to earn some like maybe the level 50 XP doesn't really matter for one thing, but like there's multiple currencies, so like the unlocking stuff like continues beyond further. I don't know, but like it has to. You can't have a fully maxed out character in under a week. You know, most of us, let's say under how many hours? 50 hours, something like that. You know, I
Mhm.
feel like that's a bit much. Like much closer to 100 hours or something fully maxed out would be a lot better, I think.
On each season, like I don't know. Like
Oh,
it
each
depends what you
season
get.
if it resets, yeah. I mean
If
that's huge.
if it's just cosmetics, who cares? Let people get it as soon as they can. Like if it's if there's some sort of gameplay sort of thing, actually I really don't care at all. Like you know, make it easy for people to get, like they feel like they accomplished something. They don't have to live inside
Yeah.
of the game.
But like
it's
after the
Fortnite
level
model.
50, like what do? You know, like that's kind of where I hope there's more customization and stuff to be earned or completed after that level 50. Like I don't want to feel 100% done with the game and it's just tinkering with stuff after level 50 and I've only played the game for like 25 hours.
Yes. And that's kind of where I'm getting of like, hopefully we run this up to 100 or, you know, 150. I don't care what it is, but the amount of people that were chasing that level 50, again, we've said his name before. I think we were all laughing when G-Dog was the first one to hit level 50, because then it was like that moment of, oh shit, now what do we do? Like it's there's got to be that Pleated's favorite word, grind. What am I working my way towards?
Or like different clubs or something like that have different attributes and stuff. Like that would be fine too. Like if it does just something adjacent to this, if level 50 is that achievable that quickly, something adjacent that you can work towards and do.
Yeah, just don't care. Doesn't move the needle at all for me.
I'll make it move the needle. So we have our level 24 pro golfer at a 67 overall, and they are starting to adjust some of their stats. Do we agree with the combinations that your power should affect your swing path, your contact, and your correction? Again, some of these are new terms, but again, powerhouse. So again, we'll touch a little bit more on the archetypes, but looking at our level 24 powerhouse, 67 overall, kind of gives us a little snapshot of what we're getting. They're going to be able to hit the ball, not with a good swing path. You know, what do we think about these combinations?
I love the fact that you increase something, you lose something elsewhere in the grand scheme of things. Like the pro and con, you have to weigh it out and figure out what's better or not. It all comes back to balance for me, and I would love if the archetypes matter. So as it currently stands in 23, archetypes mean absolutely nothing, and you just, I can be rhythm and I just hammer all my stuff on power and I'm 100 power, So
Yeah.
as long as the archetypes means, and I guess it doesn't real, yeah, it would have to focus largely on archetypes, I would think.
Mhm.
And you just have to have like a decent balance. And hey, like, yeah, you can drive the ball 50 yards further than me, but it's going to be really tough for you to work around the greens, or your tempo is off or something like that. Like there's some sort of downside that is significant enough that people don't want to use the powerhouse, but it has to be powerhouse has to be good enough that you want to try it too. So it's a very fine line. There's a lot of testing that I'm sure goes into it. My biggest goal is that they continue to tinker with it and work on it, and just continue tinker, nerf, like do it as many times as you need to try to find that right balance. Like all these great games do, they realize that everyone is on one particular type of archetype or one particular type of hero or class in a different game, and they say, hey, this is way too overweight. Let's dial it back a little bit, dial it back some more. And now you're seeing a little bit more dispersion among the community. And now now it's finding this level ground. Yeah, I would love that. And just seeing different types of golfers, because right now everyone is the exact same. Like no one's even questioning it. What to do. Like there was some debate maybe 3 to 6 months in on some particular types of perks, but that was about it. Everyone just kind of did their own thing, and there just wasn't much beyond that. Like you didn't know if someone was a powerhouse or this or that. So
Yeah.
Some of
Real
the
quick,
things that I end up
pleaded before
Yeah.
you jump in, just
Yep, go for it.
completely off topic. Turd, add this to Turd's bullshit meter. All right. So this goes into how long he gets banned for. All right. Turd said level 65 is the cap. All right.
Oh, okay.
So we're putting that on the list. So that's 24 hours if you're lying. And then technician being the meta. We're going to put those two on the board. Make sure those are both separate 24-hour bans if you're full of shit. Love you. All right. Pleaded. Continue.
So there's a couple things that I think that are interesting here. So you see that there is a darker white bar, and then as it progresses through, there's a lighter sort of gray.
Mhm.
And so you end up seeing that it looks like that the white plus the green is where your current golfer is.
Yep.
And the moving that power up by 5 looks like it probably nerfs 5 from swing path.
Mhm.
But notice the length of all of the full the full bars are not the same length. So there's
Mhm.
going to be different maxes that you can get. I would assume that's based on archetype, because we got powerhouse here and it looks like that their power probably goes all the way up to 100. But their contact maybe looks like it maxes out around 80. I think that that's really cool. And then I like the play that if you add more to power, that you're going to decrease your max cap on swing path. And so there's choices that you can make inside of each of the archetypes that I think are really neat. And then hopefully what happens is that the fittings can add to that. And so I think this is neat. I think this gives us a chance to have archetypes matter.
Mhm.
The choices that you make inside the archetypes matter. And the question to me is, what is the velocity that you can increase your overall? And are there going to be VC that's necessary to be able to do that? Because if they take the 2K MBA route, like each one of those +5 is going to cost you some VC.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a lot to unpack in this screen. And I think that it's all like really pretty cool, because your decisions have consequences.
Yeah, and I love it. This goes back to what we said, back 2 years ago when balls came out. What is the balance? And if we're getting the balance, the quote unquote second go around of them really tinkering with the archetypes and your fittings and this gives you a plus and this takes it back, that gives me that hope of, all right, maybe there's an ear listening to some of the things that we've said.
Yeah, I didn't even realize
love
when
the flexibility.
I didn't even
It'll
realize
make the game more fun and
Uh-huh.
dynamic.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't even realize when I first started talking to the increasing on power wasn't actually decreasing the current
No.
overall of the swing path. It was
Decreases
decreasing
your
the
cap.
max capability.
The max.
That is
Mhm.
huge. So it really does, like as you're alluding to, the archetype does seem to significantly matter because it probably lays that foundation. And then I don't know what they're specifically doing that's adding 5 right now per se, but I don't know if there's other things that you earn along the way that also increase your power, or just like kind of as you increase it over time, like it's like like theoretically 100 power. What is my max? Is there a maximum swing path? You know, like I don't know.
Again,
Well, it looks like that it would
questions.
nuke it down. And, you know, you
Mhm.
see the one green little pump up. You see the green pump up on the top left hand of the overall. So,
Yeah.
like that +5 power looks like it probably increased their overall by 2. Just knowing that in NBA, my player started at 65. So I assume that we'll be starting at 65 here and we'll be able to add on to that maybe as we level up, maybe as we do something.
Mm-hmm.
But and Bo saying that it's exactly the same. Grumpy old Bo showed up again. The difference is now there's a cap. So you look at that swing
Yeah.
path, you're not going to be able to get your swing path up all the way. If
Right.
that power, if we're going to make our rampant speculations, which we love, is you've added 5 to the power, it looks very similar that you've lost 5 to that cap on your swing path. So if I end up boosting my power another 10, that means I'm going to lose 10 on my swing path cap, and I'm not going to be able to get that up to 75, 80 like we were all able to do now. I should have taken a screenshot of the bag right now because I'm pretty sure everything that I have on a powerhouse still has 80s for my swing path, for my shaping, for my rhythm. So as long as that cap moves down and stays there, just like you're saying, Respawn, like if you decide you're going to boost your power, we're stopping you at that swing path, then the archetypes are going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think this is fittings, Dino. Like this looks like your overall as a player. I think the fittings are a separate mechanism, a separate system inside of the game. That you might be able to get some fittings that might help you be able to boost up your swing path, even though that your golfer's attributes are set at a certain point. And who knows?
Yeah.
Rampant speculation.
It might be like, like you have 80 power and 80 like power from like a club fitting. So like in theory, like you go all power, right? Or powerhouse. Your max on your character is 100, and then your max on your club is 100. So theoretically, you have like a 200 max. Like it's just like 2 separate mechanisms. I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
I
like,
doubt that. I doubt that. I think that would be really hard to balance, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And cross eyes. That's kind of the question that I had on Twitter today. What you don't see there is you don't see it costing VC while they're doing those
Here we go.
upgrades. And let's like I expect it might, but hopefully that they'll make it a little bit more forgiving than they do in NBA, where you can brick a character that you spent $100 on just by making a couple wrong choices.
Yeah, I've lost some money on those characters. But speaking of those fittings of like, okay, what's the hard cap? It looks like you're only getting +2, and you're going to have to be very particular on these. Again, this is probably the screen that I'm very, very confused about, outside of seeing golf bag 1, which is exciting, and then seeing degrees for the wedges. But again, another loaded screen that I'm just going to turn it over and go, fire away, boys.
What's confusing about the degrees for wedges? Do they not have that now?
No, no. Right now, you don't have different degrees of wedges. You can choose your pitching wedge, sand wedge, lob wedge, and that's it. So now you get a little bit more bag variation for degrees of wedges. And so for me, I'm excited. Again, for everyone else, I know if there was a 2i sitting in there, there'd be a lot of you would need new keyboards. You would need new keyboards.
Yeah, I show me 6 hybrids in there for the Fred Couples bag. Like, I just, this is such a, standard bag. Like, you couldn't draw up any more of a standard bag in 2025 as far as the particular clubs that are chosen. But aside from that, it is a bit odd that the increase and decrease is the same amount. So it makes you wonder if fittings necessarily would be used, like, is the base just good enough? Because like if it's just +2 -2, there's really no incentive. I think right now, like, the legendary one is like +12 -4, or it depends on what it is, but like the pro is significantly outweighs the cons as far as like a legendary fitting, or any fitting really for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
So
it looks like we just put in a power core in the core, and then there's 4 more that you get up to Evo that looks like it's a +2. So, if you keep putting the power core in there, it looks like you'd do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then who knows what Evo opens up.
Yeah, that's what I'm really interested. If Evo like changes things, and I bet it will. Like, I can't see it just being all 1-for-1 plus-minus. Maybe it is up to Evo, but Evo has to unlock something additional that makes you want to use these. They wouldn't put all these different fittings in without you wanting to use them. So there has to be some incentive. There's also a little 3 and like 2 next to a couple of the fittings over in the bottom left. So I don't know if that's like the 3rd level, or like you level up a fitting or something like that. The color is the same. So it doesn't really indicate that it's like a higher tier fitting, other than maybe it's the 2 or 3. But then it also looks like 2 of those are faded out, so they're not yet unlocked. So I don't really know. It's a little tough to tell.
Those are putting on a driver. So.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't apply.
Love you.
So I imagine it's your inventory. I imagine they got 3 of them.
Oh, got it. Yep. Wow. That solved both of those questions. I'm glad I vetted that out.
Well, listen, people like Gamerability, when they get around the green, sometimes they like to use their driver as a chip. So again, they're just limiting the man.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I don't really have much else to say other than I hope there's many different golf bags, and there's a little bit of customization to the golf bags, and of course, throw some more club options, please. At the very least, throw like many different degrees. Like I want to bend my 50 to a 51 to get a different yardage or something like that, or more spin or something. Like the amount of actual club customization that is in the game today in real golf, like I feel like that would just be a fun avenue to do a deep dive in and just like constantly experiment. Like, because a lot of people, the only experiment they do is between 3-wood and 5-iron, and that's it. You just have everything else set the entire time. And 5-iron through your wedges is pretty set for a lot of people, but it would be nice to have a little bit more options. That's all.
I think that's what we're all looking for.
Yep.
Is he playing return?
Skill tree. Again, let's start the questions here because we only get to see one. Let me
It'd be
go back.
interesting to see if you can unlock everything or not, or if you're just limited. Like, because right now we're limited, right? In the we have like the 50. I don't even know what it's called. The coins or whatever. You have to choose which perks you want, right, on your
Yes.
golfer. But obviously that stinger shot looks awesome visually, and how practical it is to use. I mean, if I have a freaking 2-iron or God forbid a driving iron in my bag, I might use it a little bit more frequently. But if I have a 5-iron as my lowest iron, I don't know how often I'm going to use it. But the choke down or whatever it is, choke up.
Oh, we'll get to choking later.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what these are. I don't know what it seems like you have to unlock the stinger shot, which, once again, it's just more to do. So if this is stuff that you continue to do after level 50, I'm excited by it. And just the more the better, as long as it's all balanced. That's what it largely
Yep.
comes back to.
Mhm.
And hopefully that you have a practical use for it. Like, I'd hate for them to add a stinger shot and everyone just be like, well, this thing stinks, and just no one use it. You know what I mean? That's where, usually these new things come down to is it overpowered, or does it stink, or is it actually practical?
Exactly, because like some of the skills that you could get, you couldn't activate them if you were playing at a decent clip. There was no one that would want to activate after you've missed 7 fairways. Here's your boost. Like, if I'm missing 7 fairways, I'm probably not playing the game too much. So yes,
those perks were horrendous. Like the way you earn
Yes.
some of those rewards, and then like on top of increases your roll. Like, no one wants an increased roll. Like, just the thought process behind those. I understood and appreciated some of them, but there were very few or there was too many that were just terrible, and like you didn't even want, or like, hey, I'm never going to bogey 3 holes in a row, and like you said, if I do, I'm shutting off the game, so it's not really going to be me continuing my round. So they just need a better thought process, so that just restart that, and go from there.
And again, before we get pleaded to jump in, and this is just me personally, please let me know what that bottom tier is before I go in and unlock all of this, and then realize that I hate whatever that perk is.
Yeah. That would be
Trees.
nice, but I know a lot of games do that, so I can't really blame them for it. So
Yeah, again, it'll be the people that dive in, all the way in, that get burned early. But again, that's me personally knowing what I'm going to be doing the first 4 days of launch.
Yeah. Hopefully you can't brick hopefully you can go back on these and there's some sort of skill a tree recap. I don't have too much to add other than the fact that this just gives more depth to the game. It gives more systems to be able to use to try to deviate from one another. And I think that that's what this golf game's really needed. Like, they've had a good base game, but you didn't have a chance to really make it your own. It looks like that we're getting to the point here where you're going to be able to tailor your character to be able to do what you want it to be. And there's going to be some people that are going to do it because they think some of the stuff's going to be fun. There's going to be other people that are going to try to find the perfect meta. I like that the game gives both people a chance to have fun their way.
The Dinos question too. I definitely think you should be able to have all of these shots unlocked on your character. I understand, like, it might take a little time, and that's part of the progress of the new game to unlock them. The continuation of the skill tree might be to master them a little bit better, but you should 100% be able to have all of these shot types available. I would hate to see you being restricted and be like, yeah, you can't even play a stinger because you have your choking up ability is on, or something like that. That would just be foolish. So it's
is
either
Turd
or.
is Turd breaking like embargoes here, or is he just talking
He
completely
speaks out of his ass. All
turd
right.
hole?
Out of his
Here.
ass.
Here, I'll break this down. Turd throws random shit at the wall, no pun intended. And then if
Random
it
turds at the
sticks, it's good. To where he said, hey, the game is getting released on the 7th through the 10th. It came out on the 12th, so we had to serve a 24-hour ban. Do I believe that he does have some inside information? Unfortunately, I'm going to say yes. I believe he does have something, but him saying he's got a Zoom meeting tomorrow, unless he streams it to me in a Discord, no, I'm gonna tack that up. So, inside information outside of Red Fast Review, I keep track of any bullshit that he decides he's gonna broadcast, and anything that does not come true adds the amount of time that I will ban his ass from the den. So, again, not to take away from Red Fast Review, but again, people will be seeing Turd put this up there. Ladies and gentlemen, Turd Ferguson for you. So, and before we got derailed there, I was actually going to make a semi-decent point going back to Dino. To get all of these quote unquote shot types, I'm assuming it's 1, 2, 3 to get this one, 4 to get the Stinger, 5, 6, 7, or maybe 10. And depending on how in depth. Oh, no. I want you to keep going, Turd, because it just adds. It adds to the list for me. I feel like there's going to be that ability. It's going to be the side branches where you'll be able to enhance certain things, which again, good, bad, I want to know what they are. All right, let's get the Rundown's favorite shot of this one.
Western Kansas driver.
Yep, right here. So Rundown loves this shot, by the way. Just zooming in directly on that freckle right here. Make sure it's not something on my yeah, that might be something on my monitor. Hands up. All right, so
Good interlocked approach.
the interlocked, the choked up. I can take this frame by frame, but we do not get a lot of information on the choked up shot. It looks like it opens up that top portion.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, get easier contact. That makes sense.
So again, this moves so quick where they're like, look, it's a choked up shot. And I don't even think they let you. All right. Ball comes out a bit to the left, but we don't see anything about halfway through. Yeah. So like that's what you get for the choked up shot. Again, okay. I need so much more information. Like you don't even give me the full feedback on this shot. So, all right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's not much I have to say there. 34,000 followers. I don't really, this is so random. Like, I don't know if it increases the crowds around you, like you're following. Like you're, like, I don't understand the purpose of showing this.
They have all of this in NBA also.
Yeah.
Where as you progress through the career, you get more followers, and you know that has some nominal effect in sort of, I think, the being able to be one of the greatest of all time if you really start doing the stuff inside of the offline mode. For us that probably aren't going to be engaging with that offline mode all that much, probably doesn't really mean that much.
I just said,
but the crowd size is really cool.
Yeah, this was the shot I was talking about earlier.
I would think it'd be cool that if you do the offline stuff with your followers, if there's any way they can make that translate to online, I think that would be just a great thing of you get, again, someone playing their TGC rounds And, you could tell they've been grinding the offline because they have this huge community following them along the golf course compared to someone who just does their online rounds. Again, one of those little minute things that take it, leave it. But if that's something that can transfer over, I think it makes it that much more entertaining to push people to that career mode.
Our tiger about to break loose.
The excitement factor for those players.
Again,
I just don't like forcing people to do things in modes that they don't want to play. Like, so if someone doesn't want to play offline, I don't want them to play. You
Then
know,
you don't get fans.
It's sort of like MLB, right?
Yes.
Like, I want to play ranked seasons. I don't want to grind the USA map for the 100th year in a row to get a card that I'll never use, but I need it for a collection.
Yeah, that's tough. And then I personally, it's tough to tell exactly how in depth the career mode is. Like, it's just showing some very basic, simple screenshots here. And is it going to be just, a handful of these? I think if Bear advances a little further when he gets back, seeing the training, it's like caught in the background. And they did mention it, like, if there's more stuff like that where you can do training or mini games in between, anything to break it up from round to round to round to round to round, where you can progress your golfer or do different challenges or stuff like that, that would be really cool. Now, like I said, we don't actually see any of it. We just see the word training, and I think it was mentioned on their website as well. So, yeah, until we see it, I mean, even if it's to do like a specific thing at Top Golf or like some variation of like a scramble or something with some pro or something, I don't know, like charity event or pro-am or whatever, like just anything that just kind of breaks it up a little would be good.
Yeah, as long as it's just not like just forced screen time. Like in NBA 2K, you have to go to the Gatorade thing to be able to get your max stamina stuff, and I hate that stuff.
All right. Sorry, my bladder's not what it used to be.
No worries. Yeah, we didn't really have much to say about the career mode. I was more focused on like the other things that we could potentially have in the career mode other than this conversation. I think a few frames forward, or maybe I'm thinking of the wrong part, it does have capture a training in the background, and I know they talked about that. So that was what I'm hoping for more. So maybe it isn't in that one, but
I think it was in the
career
initial
mode as it is pretty dull. So any increase will be a major upgrade. I probably won't find myself spending too much time in it. Maybe I will if it's increased that much more. Obviously, not having Augusta is a huge disappointment, but at the same time fully expected, because I mean, obviously EA has the license locked up, but they're setting themselves up for the future too with capturing the other three. So hopefully once that license expires, that is something that 2K targets, and theoretically they have the only golf game at that time. So,
all right. Your thoughts on Tiger Vision, because anyone that played the old school Tiger,
more the better.
When you see it zoom in and everything slows down, again, you could see the cinematic that happens here. I might have this cropped out the wrong way, so I'm going to hit the button and I'm going to pray.
Yeah, you'll probably get something.
All right, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
All right. So you could see that it slows down and it turns into that cinematic. The heartbeat, Tiger mode. What's it do for you? Again,
10 years ago, it would have done something to me. I'm old and grumpy now. Couldn't care less. I'm going to turn it off. Just like the replays. I want the visuals. I want the gameplay working right. Like, get me the rough, get me the drop zones, get me, the fringe working right. Get me some excellent visuals. Pump as much crap as you possibly can to the course designers. I already have the cross-plat society, so that's the stuff I'm more worried about. But yeah, I mean, all this stuff is going to be good and draw people. It's just, I'm already in the game, so this stuff does absolutely nothing for me.
I think it's one of those things that this is what they've done to kind of maybe target the youths, I believe they're called, because we could talk about Tiger Vision, and you remember the first time you hit that shot and the controller and everything goes boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom. Like that first time it hit, you're going, oh, this is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
we all remember that feeling, but now we're, old, senile, things like that. And half the people have already said, dear God, please let me turn this off. But I want one shot for it to start getting that feel, and then I'll shut it off.
If it was the 72nd hole of a tournament and it was a winning putt from like a long distance or something like that, maybe.
Mhm.
But the moment just has to be right. And if I start seeing this once, twice around because I have a close wedge shot, it's just going to be okay. And I'm just going to lose interest so quickly. If it's very, very infrequent, it's a long shot. It could be an albatross or it could be a hole in one or something like that. Maybe, but to me, like when it comes up on like a long shot, it actually draws away from it because I don't want it to slow down. I want the normal reaction ball speed, like the heartbeat when that pops up. I'm like, oh, my chance of this ball going in the hole from like visually looking at it, I was giving it a 2%. Now I see the heartbeat halfway through the air. I'm thinking it's a 30 to 40% chance of going in. So it actually removes the anticipation for me in a way. So I think it's a detriment.
My current girlfriend and I watch a bunch of like cooking competition shows, and in the first couple episodes of any season, I usually know who's going to be up for elimination and probably who's going to be eliminated based on the vignettes that they play.
Screen time.
The people getting to know you, and so like it does take out a little bit of the suspense if you just hit this perfect driver off the deck and it starts going heartbeat automatically. It takes a little bit of the suspense out of it, but you know what, we're just being nitpicky here.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's
So maybe-
cool.
Maybe
It'll
that's
be cool.
a critical factor is if it's just literally the last few feet. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it pops up the heartbeat, even on like a 200-yard shot. It has to
Yeah.
be within 3 yards of the hole. And like clearly by then, it's really close. So it's not really changing the suspense. It's going to be a close shot. But like when you're 200 yards out and you get a heartbeat at 150 yards away, it's like, okay, that just ruined the suspense for me.
Yeah.
Save that one for the highlight reel.
There's our cowboy
Yeah,
friend.
Nothing much thick. Oh yeah, that was a nice dance. I would love some dances or something like that. Even though, once again, I probably won't use many, but it would be fun, or like an online match or something like that.
Mhm.
Give me the emotes. Throw that crap in the game.
I like this added to it.
Mhm.
Make it not over the top, make it not offensive, make it
Yep.
not like super I don't even know how I want to say it, but just do it tastefully and it will be fun.
Yep. Back to the majors. Great to have 3. I mean, they did the best they could. Can't ask for much more than that. We knew they couldn't get the Masters. So
We talked about it last week with EA taking that contract and how they normally like
do we
to
know
sign
how
that.
long it is?
So from my limited research, it looked like they loved to announce it every 3 years.
Okay. All right. So in theory, the next game they could have it.
Yes. Again, it's one of those things that we still have the course designer, so we're definitely getting
Right. Yeah. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, but
Mhm.
it enhances the career mode that much more. You actually have all 4 majors,
Mhm. Yeah, if they don't have the Happy Gilmore the ride the pony dance, then
Yeah.
doing the bull dance, feeling the flow.
It's an interesting thing that I didn't really think much about until just now is they've never really targeted the President's Cup or the Ryder Cup at all. I feel like that's never really been something, and like that would be the next biggest thing, other than maybe the players or something like that in the world of golf. Like, why not try to target that? Maybe it's too much to figure out with the just figuring out the team aspect, and there's a lot of programming that goes involved to set up a tournament like that in a career mode, and it's just not worth the added 20 people that would buy the game.
Yeah, I don't know the coding fiasco that goes into that.
Yeah. Anyways,
I was gonna say
another low tier wish list item. It'd be cool to have.
PGA Tour 2K25.
I just missed it. Tiger's name on the ball? Do we think we'll be able to customize them?
No.
No. Yeah.
Yep, I agree with that because people suck. So.
Yep. Exactly. Or at least I won't be able to put my name on it. That's for sure.
Well, yeah. Again,
fuck me, right? Can't even put my name in the game.
It's not the kill part of your name that gets locked out. It's the bride part.
Unbelievable.
Well,
I'm gonna email them daily until they fix that. If it's something in 25.
Well, 2K still thinks you have 2 L's in your name, so.
Yeah. Well.
Do you want to take a moment to address that?
No, it's just they stink. The amount of time they tagged me 6 times, and half the times they put 3 L's in there. They might as well put 5 L's at this point.
Yeah,
but I doubt we'll be able to put names on the ball.
No,
but it is what it is. I mean, that's a cool Tiger feature, and it'd be nice to put like some markings or something like that, like just another, even if it's generic, like some dots or lines or whatever.
Yeah.
But
so they do have the 7 days early access. Gentlemen, I will ask you. I pre-ordered mine. I will be the night rider right at midnight, scheduling, getting everything going. What are you guys doing with your game?
I'll let you go, please.
Well, like I probably won't be playing it till the 28th because I will be in Chicago for Magic Fest Chicago, the 20th through the 24th, and I'm looking forward to that a lot. Not going to change my plans. Going to meet up with Justin Rose and Lenny Fish, and
I always think it's legit Justin Rose. Sorry.
I was going to say, I will clarify. Justin Rose is a member of the Pleated Pants community, not the official Justin Rose. That would be a big baller move. Again, we could cut this in post to make people realize or think it is Justin Rose. So
no, so I'm going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll be we'll probably have to pop in to see what y'all are doing on release weekend and see how you like it. But I will probably be playing not until the next week.
Yeah, at that point, it makes sense just to wait off. I'll have to figure out which bundle I'm getting. I'm definitely gonna get it early.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really looked too much into the deluxe or legend edition, if it's worth getting the legend or if it's just a bunch of.
There's a couple videos, and again, I'll put my hand up. As far as my pre-show stuff, I did see a video that had a really good breakdown on what you get for each of those bundles, because one of them does have the season pass and it breaks down all the costs. Hand up, I didn't write it down. I've just been binge watching all of these videos to just look and sit there and go, oh, I just want more. I just want more. Give me more. And so again, probably next show, I'll make sure that we bring it up, but I guarantee there will be 3 or 4 even better breakdowns by then.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was thinking of getting it. It was the week and the season pass, and it's a continuous one, so it's not like a nonsense. Like I'm all for just give me some more skins, cosmetic things. You know what I mean? Typically don't pay for them in free games or whatever, but if I'm getting that on top of the early access, so be it. Like let's do it. So I think it was the next tier down. It wasn't the
I'll
top
buy
tier.
the Legend Edition if all of the season passes come through it.
Yeah.
Might as
but
well. No reason not to.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. So it's a decent deal, especially if you know it's more than likely going to be at least a 2-year cycle. It's been this way for 6 years now, so or
Mhm.
even longer.
Yep.
But so there's no reason to believe there'll be a 2K26. It'll probably be 27. So in theory, if you're buying it, it's going to last you quite a
Yeah.
while. So all positive signs, I think, for this game. Like, so many things have been addressed already. Obviously, there's always more wants because we just all want it to succeed. But yeah, I'll be there. I doubt I'll be playing much day one. It's a Friday. Probably be nighttime stuff and try to throw some YouTube videos together and whatnot. But I'm sure once the kids are in bed, I'll try to be grinding away for a few hours at least. Unfortunately, most of my grinding will be until the following Monday or something. I'll take off when my son's at daycare or whatever.
Yeah. Again, I at my job I get 3 days off, and I may have been saving them for the release of the game, so I will be off on that Friday, and probably the following Friday when the full game releases. So just I plan on diving into this head, heels, nuts, everything, all the way through. So very excited for this.
Current girlfriend's going to be out of town that release weekend. So I'll probably be no-lifing this on twitch.tv/pleatopants.
There it is.
Oh my goodness. Excuse me real quick. I wish I was Kilbride to be able to
Type it in the chat
to be able to have that. Again, Kilbride, are we thinking about getting the button going?
No.
Or are we going
Nope.
to YouTube? Yeah,
Well,
going to YouTube.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, even tonight was a struggle. I walked in at like 8:50, 8:55, and my son was still up. So it was just, my wife's a saint for letting me to try to, do this as even impromptu as this was, until sleep is a regular norm and I can have a set schedule. I don't think Twitch is a large possibility. But that being said, I do strongly intend to make YouTube and short form a priority again, as I was doing for the past, I'd say the last 6 months, 6 to 9 months, it was off. But prior to that, the 6 to 9 months prior to that, especially, was strong on the YouTube. So YouTube, because gives me the flexibility to work when I want, type of thing, and I love the editing. I actually truly love the editing, and then hopefully we can continue this going, and then I can get my fix in of having some live stream interaction and just seeing what everyone else is doing. But maybe occasionally and down the stretch we'll do some other streams or whatnot. But I don't plan on turning the Twitch channel on anytime soon. It'll be YouTube and Instagram, TikTok, whatever else for the short form.
I'm trying to figure out how to make all of the YouTube and Twitch chats all show up, and I want to try streaming vertical and horizontal on YouTube while I'm streaming on Twitch. I've seen some people in the baseball community doing that, and it seems to be working really well for them. So, and that's my sort of like stuff that I've been working on the back end right now, hoping to get that all ready for when the game launches.
Does my boy Nutty have a video on it? I'm sure he does.
Nutty's the one I always go to for a lot of the stream stuff.
Search Nutty on YouTube if you haven't watched him before, please.
All right, I will. Like, I found one guy that was using StreamerBot to do it all, and so I'm dipping my toe into that.
Yeah, he's the one that pointed me in that direction. So.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are at our beautiful 2-hour mark for a 2-minute video. I believe we do have the gift of gab. As always, we do need to send a raid off. And now we will pull this guy, Kai Sinat. Look, he might need some love. I'm not really sure. We can decide, where we want to go. It's been a while since we've done the good old random raid. We want to kind of take a peek. Have we looked at the Wubba Botson before?
The name caught the eye. I feel like I've been in there before.
Have we been in here before?
Yeah. I'm just looking at all these other ones. I don't know.
He's got a bush light.
Send it.
Yeah, we'll send that. So again, hopefully we can make his day. Again, one of the things that we love to do here is spread some of that love, spread it to other people. Unless we get news, we might be taking a week or two off. But once we get news, you can bet your ass we will be back. We close this off the same way. Kilbride.
Suck it, Moose.
That is right. Suck it, Moose. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be back tomorrow night. We might be doing some alt shots. We might just be doing ranked. We'll figure it out. We're going to send this game off the right way. If you like Wubba, show him some love. Everybody else, gentlemen, Kilbride pleaded. Thank you. Lovely show. Love you all.
Ciao.
See you tomorrow.